Hi BookTube. So I am well caffeinated. I find myself with some free time and some alone time, and I thought, what better thing to do than film a bunch of take videos. So you're gonna get inundated with take videos because I just kind of searched for tags on my subscription page. That is a hard word to say because my brain is going faster than my mouth can keep up with here right now. And I just picked tags that didn't need any preparation, that I could just do off the top of my head. So it gets prepared for some rambling. I found this tag on Book Invasion's channel. I'm horrible with names, so I'm sorry, like I can't remember people's actual names, I just go by their channel names. And it was created by Rajathon, and the name of this tag is How Do You Read a Book tag, and I think it's appropriate for BookTube, right? Question number 1, how do you go into reading? So for example, do you do research? Oh, he's not the original creator. Scratch that. I'll put the original video in the description down below. So first question, how do you get into reading a book? So for example, do you do research? Do you just read the back cover? Do you watch some reviews, or do you just go in blind? For me, the primary thing, where if I haven't heard of a book before and I'm just kind of like looking on like shelves in the store or whatever, is title. I think title has a lot to do with book, because if a title sounds interesting, then hopefully the writing is interesting, and hopefully it evokes kind of like what the book's about, theme-wise, writing-wise, those kind of things. So that's the first thing that makes me pick up a book. I have been picking up a lot of books that I found recommended on BookTube. I don't like to know too much, so I don't really like to read the back covers too much. I just have a book here beside me. This is Shut Up You're Pretty by Tia Matangi. The reason I picked up this book was because I looked at the back, or I looked at this online, and it says it's the first book in the VS Book imprint, a series curated and edited by writer-musician Vivek Shreya. And I haven't read anything by Vivek Shreya yet, but I really want to. I find she's a fascinating person. So I was like, oh, you know, if she thinks this is good, I should pick it up. So that's like, you know, what I knew going into this book. And I knew, you know, short story collection, pathos and humor, womanist and identity and femininity, and I was just like, okay, I know what I'm kind of getting into here. But I really like to not know a lot going into a book. I just like to kind of pick it up and try to get rid of any bias and just kind of read it as a book. I definitely don't watch reviews before, unless the review, the title on like someone's page sounds really interesting. I'm like, oh, this sounds like an interesting book. I'll watch like the first few minutes because I don't want to get too spoilery, because some people, their reviews are more summaries than reviews. So yeah, that's what I'd rather do. Question 2, do you take a book at its face value? So for example, do you look at the cover and expect what is on the cover or something else? As I said before, I really go for titles. A nice cover is nice, but you know, I have some naked hardbacks, you know, like this. Well, it's not exactly naked, it has the name of the publishing company on it, but yeah, I do like a nice cover, but for me the biggest draw is the title. Yeah, and I do expect somewhat the cover to represent something of the book. So for example, this might be really easy. Avi's The True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle. So I go in this and I'm expecting like a pirate book, right? And that's what I'm expecting. That's all the information I really want. I want to reread this soon, actually. Number 3, do you read a book as the author intended? So for example, do you overanalyze fiction? Do you look for symbolism and stuff like that? Or do you just kind of read it? And I am one of those people who think that authors don't always intend symbolism and certain meanings and stuff like that. So for example, I'm rereading Brothers Karamazov, and I'm looking, part of the lens that I'm looking through it at now is analyzing it through Freud's theory of the id, ego, and superego. Now, Brothers Karamazov predates Freud, so obviously Dostoevsky did not intend for the three brothers to represent those three aspects of Freud's theory, right? So I guess it's not as intended. I like to really analyze books and look for symbolism and meanings and different things like that. Yeah. Question 4. As a book lover, reader, reviewer, do you read a book differently knowing you're going to review it? Also, do you venture into other genres for a review? I tend not to review books because I'm a perfectionist and I feel like I'm not going to do it well enough. So I tend not to review books. What I like to do is like 5 reasons you should read this book. So if I know I'm going to review a book, I don't know, because I don't review. So that question doesn't really apply. But I think if I knew I was going to review it, I probably would look at it differently. I'd probably be a lot more detached from it, a lot more critical than I would normally be. I still think I'm a critical reader, but maybe in a different sense in that I'm looking for analysis as opposed to looking for, is this good or bad sometimes, and why is it good or bad? So yeah. And would I venture into other genres for review? As I said, I don't review. So I'm like the genres I'm with. Yeah, I think I have a wide range of genres that I read from. I think the only genre I really don't read is romance. And that's because I'm asexual and aromantic and I don't get it. So that's why I don't read those. So that's it for that take. And I'll link, I think his name's Scott, Book Invasion's channel down below, and the creator's video down below as well. Thank you for watching.